Hello everybody, Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at Jiang's Oversized SKULLCRUNCHER. Now, if the video is a little bit different than normal, that's because I'm recording this on my phone. Unfortunately, my camera's having issues, or both cameras are having issues actually, so I'm recording this video on my phone. I realize that's a little bit weird, but forgive me. The overall aesthetic of the figure is pretty darn good, and I actually think that the figure looks a lot cleaner than the original Titans Returns figure. Now, the one big difference between that original figure and this guy is the head. The molding is exactly the same, however the coloring is completely different. That original head was black, and this is obviously white. And I believe that was a running change with this figure back in the old days, so please correct me if I am wrong, but I swear SKULLCRUNCHER also had a white head at some point. Alright, now getting back to the figure, we're going to go ahead and remove the gun, which is just a upscaled remold, and the sword, we'll say, and combine them up. Now, the one thing you need to be aware of if you decide to pick up this figure over at sirtoys.com is the connection between the gun and the actual tail unit is incredibly tight. There's already just a little bit of marring happening there on the inside of the plastic. So, yeah, pushing it down all the way is kind of a bad idea. I normally just push it about that far, and then you could just slide a little headmaster in there, and he can have a tail gun. Literally. Poseability for this guy is the exact same as the original figure, though the joints are vastly improved. Head is the typical Titans Returns or Titan Master head. Shoulder is on a ball joint. There is a swivel just underneath that shoulder. Ratcheting elbows, and then fists that unfortunately do not articulate, but the entire forearm swivels. Torso swivel. Can kick forward about 90 degrees, though the molding does get in the way, and can kick back just as much. Can do almost the splits. Thigh swivel up here, and then over 90-degree bend at the knee, and there isn't really any toe articulation to speak of, but there is, oddly enough, heel articulation, because I use these gator feet as heels, though he can stand up just fine without them. Okay, I lied! Transformation for the figure is the same. Before we move on to the transformation, the biggest problem I had with this mold were the knees. They are no problem here whatsoever. Alright, transformation. Same as the original figure. Pull the head off, fold the shoulders up, and there are these flanges that will peg into the grooves that are on either side of the head, up by the shoulders, like so. And then once we get those lined up, which is kind of hard to do when you can't see what you're doing, we then take the head and drop it down and peg it into place. Once the head is in place, we can come down to the hands, open up the forearms, flip the robot hands in, and then fold the gator claws over it. One issue I have with the figure is that the gator claws have a tendency to pop off because the plastic on the actual claw is a little bit bent outwards. Not the biggest deal in the world. Just be aware of that if you decide to pick this figure up, and I'd love to figure out a way to fix that. I'm not really sure how to go about fixing that. Alright, so claws are transformed. Now we come down to the legs. The first thing we're going to do is split the legs apart a little bit, reach inside the back of the legs, and fold out the gator feet, and pop them back on their ball joints if they pop off. Fold up the toes, which are ridiculously hard to get out, or flip out for robot mode. Peg the legs together, and this is actually harder than it should be, and then fold the legs up, snap them into place, fold the gator feet down, find that tail that you just transformed earlier, and peg it into place on the back of the gator mode, and we are done. We have a big old gator, which, this is a really nice gator mode, I've got to admit. It works really well. It really does. Now, one thing that is a vast improvement on this one, or this figure above the original one, is this flap here where the Titans Master goes. On the original figure, it was just super floppy, soft plastic. No, not here. It's nice, hard, dense plastic. And we could just drop the head in and close it up. Now, one problem I do have with the mode is the head. specifically the gator head. It keeps rubbing up against this piece right where my thumb is, so that keeps touching and rubbing up against it, and I'm not sure what to do about it. I'm probably going to have to sand down the bottom of the jaw, or the back of the jaw, so it doesn't rub up against that, or maybe cut this out a little bit, or sand this down some more, because that's annoying, because it keeps pushing the head down, or keeps pushing it kind of up, and you can't really open the gator mouth either this way, because when you try to, because it's not sized correctly, it pops apart like this. So, yeah, not sure what to do about that. I'm going to have to talk to my buddy Grimlockamus about that and see what I can do. Or maybe it's as simple as unscrewing that and then taking the peg there and sanding that down a little bit. Maybe it's as simple as that. I don't know. Not sure. Anyway, so this figure, it's pretty darn good. Let's do some quick size comparisons. As you can see, he is bigger than a Titans Returns Deluxe class figure, and he's even bigger than Studio Series Voyager class Optimus Prime Bumblebee Movie Edition. And he's even bigger than Weirdwolf from the same toy line. But he comes in at roughly the same size as Chrome Dome and Hardhead. Overall, this Jiang oversized figure is great. It improves on all the problems that the original figure had, and it looks good as well. The only issue, or the only real true complaint I have, has to do with the croc head, which I seem to remember the original figure had a similar issue, but I think I could fix it. Either that or I can at least talk to my buddy Grimlockamus and figure out how to fix it. Overall, totally worth picking up. Please follow the link in the description if you want to get it from sirtoys.com. Let me know what you think of the figure down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Baltmatrix, and I'll catch you next time. Need more Quake!